All right, let's move to the Western Conference. We're on the fascinating series. We got the Rockets and the Blazers. You got the Rockets starting that series on Sunday. Houston a 5-point home favorite. And Jeff, it's a series where I guess you'd say the two teams that have really put defense on the back burner as they love to run. Houston in the offseason made that big splash for Dwight Howard. Certainly paid off here with the number 4 seed. And during the regular season, Houston won 3 of 4 meetings with Portland. Does that mean you think they're going to roll?
Yeah, this should be an exciting series. Both teams are great on offense, not so good on defense. Big difference here in free throw shooting. Rockets are one of the worst teams. The Blazers are the best team, but the Rockets have home court advantage. So it could be a very interesting series. A lot depends on Dwight Howard's availability. Right now, it looks like he's fully recovered from the ankle injury. The Rockets haven't looked that great the last few weeks, but now so hopefully they have everybody healthy, and that should make a big difference. James Harden has I think a minor ankle injury. He's questionable for Game 1. Dead even against the spread, 40-40-2. Second in the league in scoring, but 23rd in scoring defense. Portland similar, 4th in scoring, 22nd in scoring defense. It's going to be a great series. I think it should be 6 or 7 games, but I think the Rockets, with the home court edge, barely. I'm giving them a very slight edge to the Houston Rockets this series, but it should be a good one. But I'm still worried about that free throw shooting. It could be the difference here, but I'm going to give the slight edge to the Rockets, John.
Are you implying that wherever Dwight Howard goes, bad free throw shooting follows? Is that what you're getting at?
That could, yeah. I mean, it's so obvious.
Exactly.
But it could be the difference in this series. But the only reason I give the edge to the Rockets, they have the home court, but it should be a great series, I think, John.
It certainly should. One way, if you want to meet a team like Houston, is you really want to have some kind of front court muscle, Jim. And this young Portland Trailblazers team, they do. They're one of the top teams in the NBA in rebounding. It's not just DeMarcus Aldridge either. They got the other 7-footer in Collins. How do you see this matchup out west?
Well, you know, the interesting thing about this is we're looking at the Rockets being a 5.5 point favorite in this game at this point, and the total has gone from 215, 214.5 up to, that's the number. But it opened 216, so it came down a little bit. I don't agree with that move. I like the game to go over. I like most of these games in the series to go over. Maybe if it gets down to crunch time and they're tied 3-3, it might get a little pressure. But Portland, I have them rated pretty well. I mean, they're right even with Houston, if not a little bit better in some spots, in some of the statistics. When you look at their point spread record on the road, 24-17. Not that. It's 25-16, and that isn't so bad. I mean, when you play that well against this team, I think they lost 3 out of 4 games. But getting 5 points, anything you can get in that range, I think it's going to be a close, hard-fought battle with a lot of points in the game. But I think it's going to come down to that free throw shooting at the end, and Portland does that better.
Yeah, they certainly do. That Portland front court, it's not Collins, it's Robin Lopez, the 7-footer. You combine him with Nicholas Batum and LaMarcus Aldridge. This is a dynamite front court that they're going to be throwing at Dwight Howard. So it's good defense for Portland up front. And they got enough bodies to do the hack-a-shack, or in this case, hack a Dwight Howard if they want to, which could give them an edge. Portland, very underrated on defense, I think. They're 11th in the NBA in field goal shooting defense, and Houston also is in the top 10 in field goal shooting. But you don't think of that with these teams because they run so much that their other defensive numbers are very poor. And keep in mind, when these teams met, the 4 regular season meetings, all 4 went over the total, and each time even the losing team topped 100 points. So I got to believe you're going to see an offensive run-and-gun game. Should be one of the more exciting, fun games of the postseason. All right, the other West Coast Conference game, or Western Conference game that we have, you got the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors. I mean, here's a team where Clippers have been stockpiling talent the last few years. They bring in the new coach in Doc Rivers, who has been to the NBA Finals, won a title in 2008 with Boston. He knows how to teach defense. He certainly got these guys to buy into his defense and his role playing. And yet, Jeff, the Clippers also have this terrible history, an albatross over them. I'm wondering if that is going to weigh heavily, at least in this opening round, against a young Golden State team.
Yeah, well, last week I talked about the Clippers in the postseason. During the season, they play more of a run-and-gun, up-tempo game. Then when the playoffs come, the playoffs are usually a little bit slower and more physical, and that's when the Clippers run into trouble. That's what happened to them the last couple of years. This year with Doc Rivers, maybe that'll change. We'll have to see. But against the Warriors, that shouldn't be much of a problem because the Warriors are similar to the Clippers. So this should be a good matchup for the Clippers. Golden State got a bad break when they lost Andrew Bogut to a rib injury. That could take a long time to heal. It's too bad that happened to him, and you don't have to rely on Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson again to drain those 3-pointers to try to win these games. They're scoring 107.9 points a game. They're third in field goal percentage. This should be another exciting series, but I think I got to give the edge to Clippers here, at least in this series. I'm not sure how far they'll go in the playoffs, but I think this series the Clippers have the edge. They're favored by 6.5 in the first game. I'd even lean the Clippers in the first game too, John.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. I mean, this Clipper team, you mentioned the defense for both teams. Clippers are 9-4 under the total on the road, and when the Warriors play a team with a winning home record, that is a good team. They haven't been good of lately, 3-8 against the spread, and when you look at the regular season meetings, LA won 111-98 at home. That was in March. Golden State won at home in a blowout, but the other two games, Golden State barely won at home by 2 points, 105-103, and then LA blew them out 126-115. So that means the home team is a perfect 4-0, Jim, in the series. And how do you shape up the matchup between a Clippers team that seems to have it all against a Golden State team that doesn't have a lot of experience and certainly lost their big man up front?
Losing their big man up front is probably going to be a critical blow to this team. It's going to come down. We remember how Golden State played last year in the playoffs. I mean, I think that took the Spurs to 7 games. It's going to come down to their guard play. If they can hit those threes like they get crazy sometimes, they just hit 7 threes in a row and they just they're in the game. The Clippers are the better basketball team. They're the healthier basketball team, and the addition of Doc Rivers as the coach is going to change and has changed the culture there. I think the Clippers are really set to make a run at this West Conference. I mean, this is definitely a very solid, deep basketball team. I look for them to go a long way. I don't think Golden State can hold up without the big man. The only way they can really stay in this series is if those guards go crazy like they did a year ago. Otherwise, they just don't match up.
Yeah, I would agree with both of you. I think the Clippers really have it all for this series. One thing to keep in mind is that Golden State is kind of an underrated defensive team. They do play very good D for Mark Jackson. Once again, they're top 10 in field goal shooting defense. They're exceptional at defending the three, third in the NBA. And you got a Clippers team that really turns up the D at home, 9-2-1 under the total at home. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more unders than kind of the odds makers expect in this series, particularly at home. But overall, I think Clippers have way too much. When the Clippers played a game back in October, a preseason game at the Thomas & Mack Center in Vegas, and I went to the game, and Chris Paul was absolutely dazzling. I was just blown away by his ball distribution, how he controlled the tempo, his defense. He's just a phenomenal player, and I think he's healthy. He's really going to shine, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Clippers win this in 4 games or 5. Okay, let's go through some of the offers we have. Guys, it is the most exciting time of the year if you want to win at the NBA playoffs. Plus, you get baseball alongside. And, Jeff, you've been on this phenomenal run in baseball. Great start to the season, 37-13. Plus, your history in the NBA playoffs is extremely good.
Yeah, 96-65 in the NBA playoffs going back to 2011. 37-13 in baseball, 14-2 in best bets so far this season. You're going to get the rest of the month, the rest of April, baseball and NBA for only $19. When you sign up, you get a $20 consensus winner as a free bonus. Just call LVSS at 1-866-575-8916. The rest of the month, just $19. 1-866-575-8916.
All right, Mr. Vegas last week hit his National League West game of the month. That was the LA Dodgers, a 6-0 victory, part of a 10-5 run. If you want to get the rest of April, baseball and the NBA playoffs from Mr. Vegas for just $15, call 1-866-896-1627. Jim, you had a phenomenal weekend as well as a phenomenal March Madness run. And if folks want to get on board your NBA playoff package, is $299 online at jimfice.com. But you also have a special available.
That's right, John. If they call 1-866-841-1655, they can get that executive service package that's $299 online. They can get it for $29, and that includes a high roller play going this evening. 1-866-841-1655. $29. Executive service plays in the NBA right through the end, and just make the call. $29.
All right, make sure you take advantage. If you want to win, get on board with these experienced Las Vegas winners. And it's a new NBA season. Make sure you check out JimFice.com for plays every day in baseball and basketball and hockey, as well as other plays going available, and videos, free videos, stats, all available at JimFice.com. Make sure you check out Proline next week. We'll be back with another edition looking at the next round of the NBA playoffs. We'll see you then.